Hi, I'm Belle from the Williams-Sonoma Test Kitchen, and today I'm going to show you how to master some essential knife cuts: a chop, a dice, and a mince, all using my Shun Premier Grey knives. Oh, and I'm going to make a salsa, because 1, salsa is delicious, and 2, this recipe uses all the knife cuts I'm going to demonstrate. So why Shun? These knives are hand-hammered in Japan. Before you start cutting, you want to make sure you master the proper way to hold a knife. You'll see how I'm choking up here on the blade instead of holding it from the back of the handle. This gives you way more control of the blade and where you're cutting. You also want to make sure your forefinger is wrapped around the knife, safely away from the blade instead of resting on the top. So first, to prepare the salsa, I'm going to cut my tomatoes into a large dice. A dice is where you have distinguishable pieces. So to do this, I'm just going to cut off the end, and I'm doing this with a serrated knife because the teeth of the serrated knife pierce the tomato skin really nicely without crushing the interior. Make about 1/2-inch slices, rotate the tomato, and do that again. Next for the salsa, I'm going to be chopping a red onion. I'm going to take my chef knife, just cut off the tip end, leaving the root intact, and lay it on the flat side. This is called a plank. Then I'm going to take my knife and just go right through the root end, cutting the onion in half, and just remove all these papery bits. Next, I'm going to lay my onion cut side down. This is the plank I was talking about, so it's super sturdy. To stabilize the onion, I'm going to take the palm of my hand and just press pretty firmly. Next, I'm going to run my knife horizontally, just through the onion, making sure I don't go through the root end. Probably just 3 times. If you have a larger onion, you can go 1 more cut. If you have a smaller onion, 2 will do. Then I'm going to take my onion, face it towards me. I'm going to do the same amount of cuts with the same width, straight down through, making sure I don't go through the root end. Now, first, this is going to create a small dice, and then I'm going to run my knife through to give it a nice rough chop. This is salsa. It doesn't have to be perfect. Next up is the mince, which is the teeniest, tiniest dice, almost into indistinguishable size pieces. Mincing is great for anything you don't want to take a harsh bite into. Garlic, ginger, something spicy like a jalapeno. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to take a really big bite out of a jalapeno, so I'm going to cut it into tiny pieces. I'm actually going to switch to my paring knife, so I have more control and dexterity as I'm getting these little pieces out and getting all these seeds out. If you like spice, feel free to keep the seeds in. I just prefer a more mild one. So first I'm gonna give these jalapenos a quick julienne, so just slice them into thin matchsticks. You'll notice how my fingers are far away from the blade and tucked under so my fingertips won't get close to being caught in there. Then I'm just gonna line my matchsticks up, secure them with my left hand, just run the knife through, making tiny little movements with the knife as to get the smallest little pieces. Now that I have a small dice, I wanna mince it. So I'm just gonna run my knife through just like I did with the garlic. To finish off my salsa, I'm going to add some fresh lime juice for some nice acidity. A good trick when juicing limes is to give it a nice roll, a nice gentle roll. This will help release some of its juices. Next, I'm going to add a generous pinch of kosher salt and just a little bit of olive oil, just to kind of bring it all together. It's a perfect appetizer, a little bite for cocktails in the summer. Gorgeous. For more knife techniques and to learn more about Shun Premier Grey, head to williamssonoma.com.